What's the news with Wellington, first of all, please, and Jack, but Wellington primarily first, please.
Yeah, I think Wally's gonna still take a couple more weeks. So not the muscle injury, so not the best. But yeah, I hope it's not gonna take too long. Jack's scan came out fine, so Jack will be available for tomorrow.
Any other problems? I mean, I'm thinking particularly of players like Flynn, who played through a whack, and Leo, who's played through a groin.
Yeah, the only other one is Jay, who struggled a little bit with his quad. So he will be out for tomorrow, and we need to manage this over the next week, and then hope to get him back in quickly. And the rest looks good.
We've talked before about the importance of this period of home games. Especially now it looks like you've got a few away ones in a row coming up round the corner. But you've put yourself in the position you wanted to be in, haven't you? You might have a couple of injuries to worry about, but actually you can attack these home games with some confidence, can't you?
Well, it's all set up, and now it depends on us. I think that we have made some progress over the last weeks. Still at the same time, we know that we are far away from where we want to be in the end, and now is the moment to keep pushing, stay on the gas, and then it's for us to take it.
People will refer to what happened at the Valley in November when you played Charlton. I never know how much matches of 2 or 3 months ago with slightly different players around and a window past has happened, how relevant that is, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that the game tomorrow is going to be a completely different one. There's some bits obviously that we can take from the last game, but not just on our side, also on Charlton's side. They've changed a little bit now in the January window. So we start 0-0 tomorrow. It's going to be a tough game to play.
Yeah, it's ironic given you scored so well against them and freely that actually I was counting this morning. I think they've kept 11 clean sheets, which I think for a side promoted through the playoffs from League One is quite an impressive stat for them.
Yeah, it's remarkable. I think he's been. I think that Nathan Jones has been known for his defensive work rate. I think that his teams always give it their all and leave it out on the pitch, and you could see that. I think it's remarkable that if you come a league higher up and manage to get so many clean sheets over the line, and we know that. Obviously, there's a desire to bring that game into our direction, but we've had enough games now that might need a little bit longer to open them up, so we see what the game gives us tomorrow.
And although it's not relevant to you in regards that you weren't at the club when he was manager here, there is no doubt you would expect him to be desperate to do well coming back to St Mary's, like any manager would, I think, if you had a bad time at a club. Do you think give him an extra incentive, his team?
Yeah, because it's going to be a special game for him. I don't know how much it actually changes for his players and for us. We need to make sure that we attack the game and what it gives us. And yeah, I think we have good chances with a good performance to bring that game in our direction.
You've had a couple of nice 1-0 wins recently, which are always a good sign of a team moving in the right direction, I feel. Do you expect a tight game tomorrow because of their defensive record?
Might be. I think the game has the potential to turn in very different directions. The good thing is that I think that we have now managed over the last weeks to win football games in very different manners. And I think that's a quality that comes from a lot of work that the boys and the staff have put in over the last weeks. And no matter how the game goes, we need to find a way to win it.
One little pattern I noticed, and I wondered what you thought, was that I think in the last 5 home games you haven't scored more than 1 goal in any of the games. Coventry, Millwall and so on, Sheffield United, Watford. Of course you've won 2 and drawn 2 of those 5 games. Do you think that's a consequence of what you did back in November, December, that sides suddenly came to St Mary's thinking, oh, we better make it much harder for them and not perhaps they're being a bit more defensive once you've got going?
Yeah, might be. I remember that we scored 2 in the last game, even though it took a couple more minutes to get the second one over the line. No, but I agree. Obviously, teams do prepare for us. I think that there were chances also in other games to score more than 1 goal. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. We'll go strong again tomorrow, and if it's a 1-0 in the end, I'll be very happy to take that.
Yeah, and again Tuesday. I mean, what do you think about the week ahead? Everyone is making presumptions about Sheffield Wednesday because they're in a situation that no one wants to be in. That's very difficult. How big is this with regards teeing up the next spell towards the international window? This 2 home games on the spin here.
Yeah, big. But I think that we shouldn't look too much ahead. I think that sometimes there's the chance that you get carried away looking too much ahead on what's going on. There's a big game tomorrow. There's a couple of boys now that haven't had a game in 10 days, so I expect them to be full of energy tomorrow, and that's all that we are focused on throughout the week. Doesn't matter what happens on Tuesday for the moment. All that matters is the game against Charlton tomorrow, and then we can take the next step after.
You've got a couple of players who have got to worry about yellow cards. James is on 9, Flynn's on 8. Do you try and keep that out of their heads because it can affect maybe how they play, or do you think it's just a consequence of the game and they go 100%, and if anything happens then you deal with it?
I think they're intelligent enough. I've been in the game for many years. I think Flynn is a type of player that always goes 100%, no matter how my conversation with him would go. And if you remember the Leicester game at home when we were 3-0 up, I think you've seen that he's always all in. James has taken only 1 yellow card, if I'm not mistaken, with us, 8 yellow cards with Charlton. I think in a different position, in a different way of playing. So I think there's a chance that he might manage that a little bit better in the way that we are set up. But yeah, if there's a situation, you go all in, and if that has a booking as a consequence, then it is what it is. The squad is very good. You've seen that over the last weeks. Yeah, and I think we shouldn't hold back in anything we do.
And just a final thought. How do you feel set up now as a squad? You made your changes in January. You've had a few games for everything to settle. The kids have performed in the FA Cup. How do you feel you're better now than before everything that's gone on in the last few weeks? How much has that helped even last week to put everyone on a different level?
Yeah, I think in general it's not just us. I think it's the whole club that has come together a little bit more over the last weeks, and that also includes the academy. We have many sessions where we have academy boys being up with us and just give us the images that we need for the weekend. And no, I think the whole club has come more and more together, obviously with less players in the squad. Also the group has come a little bit further together. I think we are increasing our intensity game by game, as we have so many games where we just set a new benchmark for the total distance and the intensity that we cover in games. And so I think in general things are going in a good direction, but again, you need to prove it every single time you step on the pitch, and it'll be a big challenge tomorrow to confirm the performance.
Just a final thought. I know it's a couple of weeks away, but the draw for the FA Cup was made this week after your win last Saturday. How do you feel about the trip to Fulham when you saw the draw? Is it disappointing because you're not at home? Is it good because you're playing a Premier League side? You can test yourselves. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's going to be a good challenge for us. If I'm very honest, I would have preferred to play at home no matter who we play against, because in the end now it's going to be 4 away games on the bounce. But it is what it is. We take it. We have a whole week to prepare for Fulham, and I'm sure that we will give them a good test.
Thank you very much.